What's good, y'all? It's your boy Biosparta 3.0, keeping the action going with the Hasbro Lightning Collection Power Rangers in Space Blue Ranger. Yes, we are continuing to complete the in space team from Lightning Collection. We've already looked at the Black Ranger, the Pink Ranger, and now we have the great Mr. TJ, Blue Ranger from In Space. All right, man, so here we go. Getting more into these Lightning Collection reviews. I'm loving it. For some reason, as you'll see, this is a pretty big box, a lot wider than the standard box, and that is because, of course, he comes with his glider. All right, which is interesting that they gave TJ his glider. As far as I know, he's the only figure in the team that came with a glider, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's just like another one of those weird inconsistency things with Hasbro. It's like, why are you gonna give like one Ranger out of the team his glider and not anyone else? It's some goofy stuff. We'll get into all of that later. But I feel like a lot of the Blue Rangers for some reason tend to get like extra accessories like this. Like he's got his glider. I think the what's another Blue Ranger that came with like I want to say the was it Lightspeed Rescue or there was another Blue Ranger I think from another season from the Lightning Collection I think that came with like their special like vehicle or something, and it was just like it was kind of random. I was like, why would they give like only the Blue Ranger their vehicle like that, their own personal vehicle? You would think if anything like the Red Ranger would get like the personal vehicle, and then everybody else would just be like a standard release. But I mean that would make the most sense, I would think, if they're gonna do something like that. But Hasbro, a lot of things that they do don't make sense. So there is that. But either way, we got a really nice looking box here. We at least it's window box. Those windowless packaging really suck because we obviously can't see the figure inside, but that is not a problem here. So we can see TJ. We've got the alternate head sculpt. We've got his blaster, his Astro Axe. We've got his blast effect here, some alternate hands, and of course the glider. On the front, Power Rangers Lightning Collection in Space Blue Ranger. It just 4 up, the little warning, choking hazard, Hasbro in the corner. Inside the box, we've got the artwork. I believe Tom Whalen is the name of the guy that does the artwork for these Lightning Collection boxes, or at least he used to before they stopped the line. But yeah, I really do like the kind of like comic book style artwork on these boxes. Look of him on the back, the figure posed up on his glider, and he's using his blaster. He's got the blast effect in there. That doesn't look too bad. It's all right. Nice lightning bolt effect in the back, of course, for the Lightning Collection. Coming to the other side of the box, Power Rangers in Space. Some more of that artwork from the front continued, and back to the front. Bottom, legalese, barcode, all that stuff. Top of the box, just flat, dark blue, and there you go. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's waste no time with this guy. Alrighty then. Hope everybody's doing good. At the time of filming this, it is Saturday for me, so depending on where you are in the world watching this, it might be a different day for you. But currently it is February 22nd, Saturday, here in Cali for me. Alright, so hope everybody had a good week, man. Nice solid week. We are at the weekend finally. Hopefully everybody's getting a chance to relax a little bit, unwind from work, and get into some fun stuff, or even just relax. If you're not planning on getting out of the house and you just want to relax, totally understand that, man. Trust me. The grind is crucial out here, but man, does it tire you out sometimes, Gotta take a break. Definitely gotta take breaks. But here is Mr. TJ. out of the box. Let's see if we can get him standing up nice here. Here we go. He's a little bit, okay, there we go. Now he's more stable. Had him kind of unbalanced a second ago. And let's get everything out of the packaging. So we've got the blast effect here. Take out his alternate head. All right, and we'll talk about the likeness for his alternate head. Talk about that later on. Got his blaster, his Astro X. Got the alternate hands here. I like how they cover the alternate hands with tape. Like it actually, like, I'm not even joking, like that's actually like a simple but effective way to keep the alternate pieces from falling around, like falling out inside the packaging. So that's actually a cool thing that Hasbro does. I will give them their props there. All right, and I got his glider out. Very nice. Dang, almost all these screws in it almost looks like it would have like a battery inside of it or something. Is this supposed to be, does this have like a effects feature? I don't know. Okay, now for a second I was thinking maybe these lights on the side light up or something. But yeah, I'll show that off in just a bit. But for now, let's go ahead and get a closer look at our man TJ here in the cut. All right, so we got a nice close-up look of TJ in Space Blue Ranger, and he doesn't look half bad, man. Pretty nice figure. First impressions out of the packaging, the paint is, pretty standard as far as like Lightning Collection goes. There's definitely like a little bit of fuzziness in some spots. Not the cleanest, paint jobs, but for what it is, it still looks pretty good for 25 bucks. Not too bad. Like a lot of that fuzziness kind of comes in on these side, white parts of the costume by the shoulders. I think looking at it up close, I would say maybe one more coat of white would have done good, because you can still kind of see some of the blue peeking underneath. It looks like they just painted over the blue part. And I think maybe one more coat of white would have helped us a little bit. And yeah, just it's like a little bit of like fuzziness. The line isn't the cleanest. You can see like right there, some of the white is kind of like sticking up randomly and then goes back. It's a little bit of fuzzy line work, not the cleanest paint job, but not too bad, not too bad. Same thing on the other side there. It's funny, like his gloves, let's see, I'm looking at the other Rangers for a comparison, and I guess this is true of pretty much all the In-Space Rangers so far. I'm looking at Cassie and Carlos over here. Yeah, it seems like the gloves are almost like in an off-white. They are like slightly shiny, but it kind of seems like they're more in like an off-white color compared to the white that they use for like say the chest and the shoulder stripes and all that. I would say these seem more of like a pure white, whereas these seem a little more off-white. I see like tones of like beige kind of coming into the gloves here, so that's just something to note. The gloves and the boots kind of seem to be in a more off-white color, whereas the chest seems a little bit more of a pure white. So just be aware of that. Here's a look at the back of them. So, pretty standard, looks pretty good so far. So yeah, moving TJ out of the way for a second, we'll go ahead and get into accessories. So let's do it. So first up, we have, of course, his blaster that they all come with. We've got the In-Space blaster again. We've seen it, multiple times now. Molded, seems to be molded in this kind of shinier blue plastic. And then we have the, it's really, at least on this one, this little coin right here looks more silver than anything. I could have sworn on the other two that the little coin was like gold, but that could have just been maybe the light playing on it. But yeah, it seems like as far as like the actual paint used, this part, they actually use like silver paint for that little coin piece right there on the side. And then we have, of course, like the red line going by the blaster here. Little red line painted on the side. some of that, more of that silver paint up top for, this little part right here. And of course, the in piece, the port that shoots off the energy blast. So, yeah, we've got the same blaster that we've seen with the other two Rangers. We've got some alternate hands here. We've got this kind of like gripping hand. We got like a gripping hand for what looks to be like his left hand. So yeah, there we go. Some of that white paint, some of those white lines on top of the glove. Very similar to what we saw with Carlos. So very, very nice. Nice done. Nice done. I cannot talk today. Nicely done. Yeah, and got the little peg there. So there you go. You can see the hinge. And then we have for his other side, we have also another like gripping hand for the right side. Pretty similar in shape and mold. So there you go. Nice detail, nice white color for the hand there. So there you go. That doesn't look half bad. And then we have a blast effect, of course, for his blaster. We can pour it into his blaster to get some dynamic displays. So we've got this kind of yellow blast effect, which to me isn't the best. I think it's a little over the top for like, such a small blaster. I don't think like something this big needed to necessarily be made to, come out the end of the blaster. I think this is a little over the top as far as the size of it and how, busy it is with all these like spikes and stuff, but I get what they're going for. Better to have something than not. So we do get this kind of somewhat like semi-translucent yellow blast effect piece, which is pretty nice overall. So there you go. You can plug that in if you wish. And of course we have his signature weapon, which is the Astro Axe. Yeah, pretty small, axe weapon. I think out of all the axe weapons I've seen from Power Rangers, I think he has the smallest. At least it seems that way. But yeah, the axe itself is not that big. But you can see we've got some nice paint apps here. We got the black for the handle, kind of like a gunmetal, gray, silvery kind of paint by these coils. And then at the bottom right here, we got the blue plastic to kind of match him. Nice kind of dark blue color there. We've got this kind of goldish bronze little section here with the little symbol engraved, kind of like a V or something. And then we have some more silver paint for this end piece here. And yeah, we also have like a little bit of silver inside of here, which is nice. It's a nice added detail that they painted, and definitely makes the weapon look better overall. So always nice to have more paint. More paint and well applied paint, because you can have more paint and the figure can still not look good. The figure or the weapon can still look really bad. So more paint doesn't necessarily mean good or better. It's got to be well applied as well. So they did do a pretty good clean job on this. So there you go, Astro X. Not last, but next up we have TJ, the TJ head sculpt, which doesn't look too bad. I think this is one of their better likenesses, I would say, in the Lightning collection. I definitely see it. I know my homeboy, he said that they kind of made TJ's head sculpt look like a caricature of him, and he was like, yeah, they did not do him justice. Yeah, I can definitely, this kind of looks like a cartoon version, I would say, of TJ, but I would say like the likeness is there. I think it comes somewhat close. I think it's definitely a lot better than other ones that I've seen, as far as like comparison goes. So this one I don't think looks, too bad. I think this is actually one of their better ones. I can see like some of the likeness for TJ in there. But yeah, very, very cool. The overall paint seems to be pretty clean. I like that they changed up like the color for the lips, like compared to the skin tone. So you get some contrast there. It looks more realistic. Eyes look pretty good. Eyebrows and everything. His hair, it's like in a dark brown. I don't know if maybe having it black would have looked better, because I could have swore his hair, I'm pretty sure it's like, at least, in the show it looks more black than this, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But the dark brown doesn't look bad. It definitely, you know, it's dark enough to where it's got enough contrast from the rest of his skin, so you can definitely see like where his hair starts and ends, which is pretty nice. Pretty nicely painted overall. Not too much going on there, but you know, looks good for what it is. A little bit of that shininess on him. He's got a little bit of that gloss to the plastic, which isn't great. But you know, he looks kind of sweaty in the light and whatnot, but not too bad. Definitely could be worse. So yeah, there is the TJ head sculpt. And last but not least, we have his glider. So here is his in space glider. Again, kind of random, I think, that they would give, you know, only TJ his glider, but you know, I mean, it's a cool feature, you know, can't complain about it. Definitely a nice thing to have. And TJ is like one of my favorite Rangers, or like, you know, I like him a lot. He's definitely up there with some of my favorite Rangers. So, you know, I'm definitely not going to complain about getting this glider for him. I think it looks decent enough. We got some silver paint. We've got the you know, symbol that they all have on their belts up here, painted in a kind of brighter, more yellowish gold. We have these kind of like lights on the side, which made me think that maybe this thing had like a battery or something, and that this would like light up. But as far as I can tell, there's no trigger or anything to activate like a light on this thing. So I think this is really just, you know, translucent plastic to kind of just for like effect, basically. In the light, it'll probably look really cool in photos if you can get like the light coming in at good angles. It'll probably, you know, look pretty good in photos. But yeah, you got this darker blue, you know, plastic for the overall glider, which looks pretty good. Got some silver paint here in the back. Got these kind of handles, or what, you know, whatever you would call these, on the side in the back there. Got a little silver paint back here. This part is textured. This little you know, this section like where his feet would go, you got two peg holes, so you know, you can peg him into it so that he can stand on it. But yeah, this part is textured in here, so you can kind of see that it's got like kind of a almost like a scaly type of feel to it. So that's pretty cool. Nice, smooth, you know, shiny plastic on the bottom. You can see all those screws in there, and you know, it says some stuff at the bottom that, let's see, what does that say? I'm not gonna read all that, but you can kind of see it right there. It's got that stuff on the bottom. But yeah, I think the shinier plastic was actually a smart choice for the glider here, because you know, in space, like I'm pretty sure like the gliders were kind of like shiny or like reflective like this, so it looks cooler like when they're flying around and the light's like hitting it, and you can kind of see like the reflection of the stuff around it. So I think the glossy plastic was a smart choice for this glider. But yeah, there you go. Looks pretty good. All right, so getting back to TJ, let's go ahead and start breaking him down for the clean figurine scale. So we'll start off with the overall aesthetic first. Yeah, let's bring him in closer. I didn't bring the display stand, so we're just gonna skip that, but I will make sure you guys get a nice full 360 view of this guy, because he looks pretty good, you know, front to back. So yeah, the overall aesthetic on him, I'll say, taking into account front and back for this guy, and the sides, of course, like a full 360 view of him. Off the bat, I'll say I'll give him like a solid. I mean, he looks pretty good. The paint is pretty clean, so I'll give him like a. I'm like going between 8.5 and 9 just because of some of the fuzziness. I'm gonna go like 8.5 just because of those fuzzy spots in the paint. So for aesthetic, I'm gonna give him an 8.5. Okay. So 8.5 for aesthetic. All right. And then we'll get into, let's see here. Let's get into accuracy. So yeah, let's see how accurate he looks to the source material. Pull up an image of him here. All right, here we go. TJ. Oh, this is a nice one right here. Nice full body one. What the hell? Why did they have Tommy as the? That was weird. But anyways, I'm gonna pull up this picture first because it's the color I think on this one is a little bit better, and then I'll show you the one that shows him on all sides. But yeah, we'll start with this image here. So we'll move him out the way for a sec. Okay. Alright, so In Space Blue. Let's get a closer look here. Alright, so there is In Space Blue. That's how he looks. That's how the suit looks. Yeah, I would say he's looking pretty accurate. Obviously, no black to the soles of his boots, you know, or the sides or anything, but that is pretty like a standard thing in the Lightning collection. We don't get that black paint on the bottom, but you know, I personally like kind of painting that in myself, so definitely not a huge problem. Let's see. I think the blue color they used is pretty good. I would definitely say he kind of suffers from the same thing that Cassie did as far as like a darker color in the torso. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but he definitely does have like I would say a darker color of blue in his torso area compared to the rest of him, or at least like the arms and some parts of the legs. I mean, the legs are kind of like a variation, but I would say overall they are a little bit lighter. They're more like the same color of the arms, whereas like the torso area is a bit darker. Torso and like diaper area are a little bit, you know, darker on him, just slightly, you know, not too much to make like a huge difference, but it is something to note. You can kind of see the difference, like the contrast when you look from here to like where the butterfly joint starts right there. You can kind of see like how much lighter it is. You know, hopefully that's picking up well for you guys on camera. I can definitely see it pretty well in person. But yeah, there's definitely like a little bit more of a darker shade of blue in his torso and likely in his back area as well, because that's what we got with Cassie. So yeah, I think probably just during their, you know, molding process or like assembly, they probably they might have had like his because you can see like where the cuts are for the butterfly joints. So I'm thinking maybe this piece was you know, either molded in a darker plastic or they painted this part and like put like extra coats on it, like, or like a darker coat, and then like, you know, for his arms and whatever, this seems to be more like they kind of just painted it. So yeah, maybe this was molded in a darker blue than like the rest of him. I'm not sure, but you know, it definitely is something to note. But I kind of like it, you know. At the same time, it does kind of give a little bit of contrast to the entire suit. Because, you know, like in the light, obviously this isn't really how it would look like in real life. Like the darker parts of his suit would be probably like, you know, more in like areas where he's got like wrinkles and stuff. Because it's not exactly shading. As like, I can't call this like shading, right, that they did on him, but it would look, you know, cool to see. Like, I think if they had applied this darker color from the torso again into like certain spots, like where there's like wrinkles or like, you know, more recessed parts of his suit, then it probably would have given it an even nicer look, which is kind of like what I mentioned with Cassie. That would probably give their suits a little more premium of a look. But as is, it isn't bad. I like the overall matte color throughout the blue of the suit. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Seems like all of the squares are in the right places, and the paint job for the squares across the chest are pretty clean as well. So that is always nice. You can see a little bit of fuzziness up here in the white stripe going across his chest. He's got a little bit of fuzz going up here. Not the cleanest paint job. So just little things like that, you know. But obviously this isn't going to be like a perfect line or anything like that. For 25 bucks, I mean, paint jobs could be cleaner. I've definitely seen cleaner. I think Toy Biz, you know, is comparable as far as like paint jobs being really good. And keep in mind their figures were a lot cheaper back then, but for what we have here, not too bad. the yellow and stuff. I'm trying to get focused. Okay, there we go. The yellow doesn't look too bad. This, seam line isn't the best. Probably would have looked better if they covered that up a little better with paint, but also, there in the neck with a little bit of white paint, but not too bad. So, overall for as far as like the accuracy goes to the show, I'd say this is pretty dead on. It seems to match the source material pretty well. I think the overall shape of the helmet looks about the same as the show image here. So yeah, I think for the overall aesthetic, I'll go ahead and give him a solid 9. Or sorry, not for the aesthetic, the accuracy. I meant to say we already did aesthetic, so for accuracy, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 9. I think that's fair. I think Hasbro did a pretty good job on putting the paints where they're supposed to be, and yeah, this is like I'll zoom in here. This is the version that has like front, back, and side view of his suit. The blue on this image seems a little bit darker. This is probably like more of like the Sentai suit color, but just so you can get like a sense of it. Yeah, it seems like they did pretty good front to back and side. So pretty nice job there, Hasbro. Nice 9 out of 10 for accuracy. All right, so next we will get into articulation. All right, so let's go ahead and look at our play and display. You know how we get down. Zoom out here a bit. All right, so you can see the boy. All right, here we go. Starting off with the head, we're on a ball and hinge joint, so we can look up about that far, which is pretty good. Okay, yeah, just wanted to get it back a little bit farther there. Yeah, that's pretty good. I can't tell if Cassie had, a little bit more range going up, but I still think that's pretty good. He looks up, pretty far, so that's nice. Looking down, let's see, we can get him looking down about that far, which is pretty good. Basically tuck the chin in. Let's see, rotation, obviously full side to side, and on that ball peg we can rotate 360. We got slight bit of head tilt in there. Sorry, so we can get a little bit of expressive posing with the side head tilts there. So that's good. Arms can raise up about that far, which is better than 90, so that's nice. All right. So we got him with a nice saluting hand, or like a block. That's probably what what this hand is meant for now that I see it on TJ. Because I think Cassie came with like a similar hand right this, right? Where she was like tucking her thumb in and just had the 4 fingers straight out. So this is probably like meant for salute, which is pretty cool pose. I think this hand would have looked really good with the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers had Hasbro made more. I think they only made like Chad, the Blue Ranger, and then they stopped the line. But yeah, I definitely would have liked to see like some salute hands for the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers. I think it makes the most sense for them. Coming back down to his side, definitely not as flush as like Cassie. This is pretty much how all the in the male Lightning Collection Ranger figures tend to kind of stand. They never can really get their arms down like flush to their sides, but I guess it's not too bad. Not the worst thing in the world. I would like it to come in a little bit closer, honestly, but not too bad for what we've got. We have full rotation here in the arms, so that's good on that ball joint, and then the hinge and everything. We have a cut for a bicep swivel. So let's see if we can rotate that. Okay, my bicep swivel was a little bit stiff, but yeah, the cut is basically like right under the white stripe of the shoulder, so that's how you know where it starts. But yeah, we do have rotation in the bicep. Pretty nice seamless cut there too, so that looks really, really good aesthetically. And then double jointed elbows, so we can get a really good crunch in for the arm. Can really crunch nice, extends back out. We have a Seems like the forearm is like a single piece with the rest of the arm, so it doesn't swivel or anything. But the hands are on a hinge, so they are allowed to rotate 360. And then they have a horizontal hinge, so they can hinge towards the body, away from the body, not really up and down. Okay, so there we have that. We do have the butterfly joints too, before I forget. So as far as like reaching backwards, and that's like with the hinge fully extended, like swinging his arm all the way back with the butterfly joint. He can get pretty good range going back. Honestly, yeah, that is like really good. He can basically get his arm backwards in a straight line pretty much. So that's pretty good going back. Good butterfly joint. How about coming forward? Pretty good, you know. He can definitely start to like lean in a little bit for crossbody poses, so that's good. This is his line out, you know, in a straight. His arm out in a straight line. And then, obviously, if you bend the elbows, you can get even more cross-body action poses. So that looks pretty good. Some karate chop, hiya! TJ's finna chop your ass. All right, and then for the torso, we got the diaphragm joint. So nice standard lightning collection diaphragm joint. So we can bend forward that much using just that top joint. And then we can lean back about that much with that top joint, which isn't much. But again, keep in mind, we also have the lower reverse ab crunch joint. But sticking with the top joint for right now, we get some rotation out of that. So he can swivel side to side, get some twist in there. And we, should be a double ball peg probably set up inside. So we got some wiggle room. I didn't really show off the wiggle with Cassie, but she should be able to do the same thing because same type of setup. And then as far as the ab crunch, you should be able to lean forward. Pretty very, very good. Gets a nice forward crunch. And then backwards leaning. Oh yeah, my man TJ is flexible. All right, so you can do the limbo and all that. So there you go. Very, very nice there. Good range. And it looks pretty good, not too gappy or anything, so that's nice. As far as the legs, out to the side, we get about this much range, which is, not bad. Definitely can't hit the splits. His thighs are a little too thick for that, but, not too bad. Definitely could be better, but not horrible. Coming back down, we have a cut for a thigh swivel, which again is pretty seamless, like the arms. So we do have swivel for the thighs, pretty good. We got double jointed knees, so we can bend all the way back, basically kick his lower back, kick his own ass, come a little bit higher actually, to about just a little above the belt, so that's pretty good. Coming back down, we have some rotation in the boots. So the boots are kind of like a separate piece that are able to swivel independent from the rest of the leg. And then we have hinges in the feet so that we can hinge, all the way down onto the tippy toes, get some Michael Jackson moonwalk action, right? Step on the tippy toes, kick up, kicking up about that far, which isn't the greatest, but it is what it is. Kind of thick boots, so runs into that sculpt pretty early on, and then it gets a little bit gappy, around back here. You can see, how the foot is a separate piece from the rest of the boot, but again, not too bad. And then swivel side to side, we have that. A little bit of swivel in there, or like ankle rocker is what I meant to say. So we got that ankle pivot, and yeah, that's about it as far as those go. Kicking forward, we can get our man in a nice, 90-degree kicking pose. That's pretty good. Maybe even slightly better than 90. So he's got a decent enough kick going forward. So yeah, pretty good. Going backwards, not so much, obviously, as we expect with the lightning collection. Runs into the sculpt there, so obviously not going to get the most out of that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything, right? Yeah, I think I showed all the different directions as far as the legs can move. And yeah, so I'd say that is our play and display. So, standard lightning collection movement and articulation. So I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and give him, again, with these figures, I always liked, I always desire a little bit more from the legs, especially like in the out to the side and going backwards. So for articulation, I'll give him like a 8. I'll give him, just to make it easy, I'll give him a solid 8. So yeah, articulation, we'll get an 8 for this guy. Accessories. All right, so we have the blaster. We've got the Astro Axe, which is his signature weapon. We get a blast effect, 2 alternate hands. We've got the TJ head sculpt and his glider. So that's a pretty. I mean, I feel like Hasbro is kind of trying to cheat by just throwing in his glider to make us feel like we got more. I actually don't know off the top of my head if this TJ figure costed more, but knowing Hasbro, I'm sure he did. So yeah, I'll have to actually look that up when I factor in the price point for this guy. But as far as the accessories go, I mean, I think that's a pretty, like, on their own with the accessories. I guess that's a pretty decent spread. I mean, that's basically Lightning Collection fare plus, one more accessory. And the glider is, pretty nicely done. It is a, decently sized accessory as well. Just in case you guys wanted to get a sense of the size of the glider, I did bring Carter's Cruiser, the one that I had from when I was a kid from Lightspeed Rescue, just so you can see how they scale. Try to get them both in frame here. The glider is just about, actually a little bit bigger than Carter's Cruiser. This is the Bandai, Lightspeed Rescue Red Cruiser. So yeah, I mean, scale wise, it is pretty good, and it does have peg holes so that he can stand on it, which is nice as well. So for accessories, heck, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, I think that's enough. And the fact that we get that extra glider, I guess, is nice as well, even though it is kind of random to only come with blue. But, TJ's my guy, so why not, 9.5 out of 10 for accessories. Posing, let's see if we can get him into some nice dynamic poses real quick. All right, so let's see if we can get the boy looking, dope in some super ranger poses. All right, so I'm not even gonna fiddle with the axe right now. I'm just gonna try to get him into some dynamic fighting poses without his weapon. All right, so boom, we got him kind of squaring up. We got a fist, and then we got the kind of karate chop hand. So he's squaring up like he's ready to squabble with somebody. What's up? Bring it on. All right, let's see what else we can do. Let's try to get him in kind of like a flying pose, maybe a flying kick pose. Let's try a little something like this. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, we working, we cooking. Here we go. Get TJ kind of trying to fiddle with the head a little bit here. Make him a little more expressive, okay? Okay. Hold up. There we go. Kind of crunch him a little bit. Okay. Yeah, okay. Here we go. All right, so I got him in a kind of like, flying kick pose. Nice flying kick. You know what I'm saying? Not too bad, man. I like it. I like it. You know, some simple, some kind of easy, and you can, obviously, uh, you know, s- uh, twist them a little bit to make them look a little even, more dynamic. I got him kind of crunching here, trying to get him in a deep crunch as he does his flying kick. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So yeah, man, that's some pretty nice posability. Let's get him in one more kind of cool pose here. See what we can pull off. Let's see. Let's see. Kind of bend the legs up a little bit. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, all right. We cooking. Cooking with that gas. All right, here we go. Try to straighten his feet out a little bit here. Boom. All right. So maybe like a kind of like a cool little landing pose here. Like a nice superhero landing pose, like he's you know just landed on the ground. Boom. Strike the ground like that. Come on, man. That's a badass entrance right there, if you ask me. Just imagine him fucking just landing on the ground. Boom. Bro's got the arm up with the karate chop. Behind the back. Got the fist. Like boom. Look at that. I think that looks pretty cool. That's not a bad pose. I think I'm starting to get better at my posing game, so y'all watch out. Got the boy TJ looking pretty fly out here, as he should. So there you go. So yeah, for posability, man, screw it. I'm feeling good. TJ, he's rocking it pretty good. So I'm gonna give posing. I'm gonna give posing a 9 out of 10, man. 9 out of 10. I think he'll be able to hit a lot of pretty dynamic poses. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit limited with that, the whole leg range thing. But overall, I think you could still get him looking pretty cool on his shelf. He should be able to hit some nice poses. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. So last thing we got to look at is price points. So let me go ahead and look up the price for this guy because honestly, I don't know if he was more than the standard release. But being that he came with the glider, I feel like he was. So let's go ahead and look up retail for this guy. Let's see what we get here. Okay, here we go. Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection in Space Blue Ranger with Galaxy Glider. That's what it's called, the Galaxy Glider. I didn't want to mess up the name, so I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to say it. I'll just figure out what it was later and let y'all know. But yeah, says right here, current price $24.99. So, excuse me. As far as I can tell, he was still at the standard price for Lightning Collection. So, if that's the case, man, I think that's pretty good. To give him, a little something extra is, not have up the price, which is like what Hasbro would normally do. They always find like the most bullshit reasons to, hike up the price. But for this, let's see, current price $24.99. I want to see what he is on like Hasbro Pulse. Let's see. Yeah, let's try Hasbro Pulse because that'll give us the best kind of sense of what his price was. Ages 4 and up. Okay, blah blah blah. Where is the price? I'm not seeing price on here, so let's go back a little bit for a second. Come on, where you at? Where you at? Because price is important when it comes to the rating for this guy. I need to know about how much he was. Let me try this. Retail price, Hasbro Pulse. Lightning Collection. Mm-hmm. 33. Man, it is hard to find like the standard price on this guy. I should have done a little research before the review. My fault, y'all. Let me just try one more search, and if I can't find it, we'll figure something out. So let's see here. Blue Ranger in space. Let's try. Let me see how much. Let's see if Entertainment Earth has them. Entertainment Earth. Oh, okay. Hold up. This is the 2-pack. So I guess there is there's another release of this guy I should mention. It's like a 2-pack release where he comes with the silver Psycho Ranger from In Space. But for this one, at least on Entertainment Earth for his standard release, they have him for $31.99. I think it said. Let's see. Looks like he's out of stock right now, but at least on the Google search, it said that he was like $31.99. So, I think it's safe to assume this guy is like somewhere between 25 and I don't know, maybe $32. And if it's leaning towards the 30, closer to the $30, I would say that's still kind of a lot for this type of Ranger. I'm gonna give the pricing. I mean, Hasbro, like they tend to just upsell you. So for what we've got here, I'm just gonna assume that he's closer to the $30 price point. Is this worth $30? I don't know. I would say I'm gonna give it like I'll give it like a 8, I guess. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for the price point. So let's go ahead and total up the score here. All right. Let's see what we got for the boy on the clean figurine scale. So let's go ahead and add everything up. We got 8. Plus a 9, plus an 8. All right, so we have a 52 out of 60. So I'm thinking that's going to be again about a B plus. Yep, that's an 86. So we have a grand total of 52 out of 60. Which gives us a percentage of 86. So we got 86% for this guy. Not bad, man. Not bad. Again, another pretty solid figure out of the Lightning collection. I do like it. Again, I just think if that Entertainment Earth price was like standard, making this guy about like 30 something dollars, after like tax and all that, then I still think they're probably, overcharging just a little bit, or maybe a lot of bit, but, I think an 8 out of 10 is a fair rating for their price point on this guy. We did get the glider and everything, which is nice, but I don't know if it's technically $30 worth of nice, considering the things that we get from other comparable companies and whatnot, and how much they give us. So got to keep that in mind. But a very, very solid figure overall. I do like it a lot. Aesthetically, it does look very nice, pretty accurate to the show. And, the alternate head definitely does go a long way when you want to, kind of change up your Ranger display. So, yeah, there you go, man. That is my final score for the clean figurine scale. So let's go ahead and end off with some size comparisons. And as far as the seller, I didn't get to, talk to them in time for my review, but I did send them a message today asking them if it would be okay to shout them out in the description. So if they get back to me and they say yes, then I'll definitely leave their name in the description so you guys can check them out for some listings. All right. First up for size comparisons, we have In Space Pink and In Space Black. All right, so we can start to see the team coming together here. Very, very nice. I think these guys look really, really good. Very, very solid next to one another. I like that a lot. Yep, team looks nice. I think Carlos is actually the tallest out of these guys. He's a little bit taller than TJ. I'm not sure if that's show accurate. I could have swore TJ was taller, but maybe not. I'll have to go back and watch. I just noticed something, that Carlos has like a extra white circle painted on top of his helmet, whereas like TJ and Cassie don't. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. I'll have to go back and check for the accuracy. I might have to adjust my score, but yeah. Man, I'm gonna run out of time on this video before I get through all my size comparisons. Let's just get some more Lightning collection here. Here's Dino Thunder Blue. We got Ethan, and then here is the Netflix Luke Cage. Yeah, the video is gonna end, so I'll try to make a brief part 2, just showing off size comparisons, guys. So I'll see you in part 2. All right, peace.